Welcome back to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison, and I'm still your host, Liv Harrison. I'm really excited because, first of all, it's our first episode, so we're getting, the feel of everything and just kind of, I'm in a garage. And the thing is who would know? I wanted to have an in-person guest for my very first show so I can impress you, so you have a reason to return. Here's the thing, though. We're not going to always have in-person guests, so this is special because, people don't know who I am. They don't know that they want to fly in and to do this show, but they're going to know. And this is going to be the guest to convince them. This is an incredible woman that I've known since she was younger. We were in school together, as in high school. I feel like junior high, but I was wrong with that. So we're going to go with high school. I was wrong. She has now become a huge part of my life. She wasn't for a long time. So for those of you who are in high school, go to bed. But you can reconnect with people, even though it's been years. She now is a big deal on this little tiny app called TikTok. And you might know her from that fame. If you don't, and you are Catholic, you might know her from the Genius Conference, all 100 of you. If that's not where you know her from, she is a speaker and an author, and soon to be famous LA actress because she has a agent, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. I am now, of course, talking about the gorgeous and talented and my dear friend, Allison Sullivan. Everyone not in the audience, clap for Allison Sullivan. It's JW. JW is clapping. And Allison. Gotcha. Clap for yourself.
Hi, Liv.
Hi, friends.
I'm so happy to be here. Okay, it definitely was high school. It's not we're going to go with high school. Like, it was high school.
I just really remember junior high with you.
No, and you had this much more pleasant high school experience than I did.
I did.
And,
We've talked about it.
I think that, high school for me was this watering hole in the wild where it was like, you can't show a limp, man. You got to strut.
And I limped.
No one wants to be like the first one snatched up in the watering hole. And I just, for me, I wish that high school would have been more of like a hospital waiting room or something, where it's like, I've got my slings and my bandages. No, where it's like, we're all just kind of externalizing our pain here. We can see what you got.
You're here for this.
And then we can be honest about it. But for me, high school was like pretending to be fine. I was pretending to be fine, except I wasn't really fine. And I feel like you were actually really fine.
Because I didn't know. I didn't know that we were doing that. I didn't know that we weren't supposed to come out with our slings and our bandages. I was like, oh, this is so great, everybody. And everyone was like, that's different. I didn't know. And it wasn't until my reunion. I won't say which one, Allison, because that's just rude.
It is.
Yeah. Even though we didn't graduate the same class. I think I'm a class ahead of you.
Yeah, just
one. But it wasn't until then that I realized it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I thought everybody hated me.
Right.
And they were like, we thought you were funny. And I was like, really? Because I was the chubby girl. I was, very, very overweight. Not kind of.
Yeah, my reunion was really healing for me too. It was like,
healing.
oh, well, look, I'm not the only one who matured nicely. This is great.
You guys did okay.
And we really did grow up together and had really neat experiences. Yeah. So it became nostalgic.
Nice. So that was high school.
Anyways, yeah.
But we did theater a little bit and some other things. And you, my friend, have continued. What's interesting is that you were not Catholic when we were in high school.
No.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Where were you?
I was just...
How is that for a question? Allison, what were you in you guys? I am a professional.
Incurably human is what I was. No, I loved Young Life.
Yeah.
So I just had this very happy, clappy faith experience.
Rise and shine. Yeah. Because
we really worked for me. I loved it.
Okay. So Protestant.
Yes.
Non-denominational?
Non-denominational.
Yeah, okay. So we went to a high school called Klein. I'm going to say it. We went to Klein High School. In fact, since this is a late night show. Go Bearcats. One of us loved it. Letterman had us on his top 10 most snobby high schools in America.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, we're kind of the worst. Yeah. So it was a tough high school. I mean, like you would go into the parking lot and everybody had at the time, the cool cars were like Mercedes and Beamers. I mean, now they'd be Teslas, I had a 87 Nissan Sentra.
I had a little black Splash. You know those little black Ranger trucks?
Stop. You had a truck? Mm-hmm. You had a Ranger truck?
Mm-hmm. This is my 4 Enneagram. I'm like, I will not have the Camaro that everyone's driving around now. I had a little black, what's it called?
Geez.
Stepside truck.
Sure.
Yeah.
Man, we should have been better friends than that. We weren't. We really weren't friends.
It was called a Splash.
In high school.
I had a black Splash.
I love that you want everybody to know. Guys, write this down. Allison had a black, I've never even heard of that. But, okay, so we graduate from high school. You hated it. I loved it, but didn't know I should have hated it. And then you went off to Texas A&M. We're in a high school that is in Houston, Northwest Houston. That's where Klein is, if you want to look us up. We're not there now. And you went to Texas A&M.
True.
And what did you get a degree in?
Special education.
Really?
Yes. I taught special ed for 6 grueling years.
Which led her into her TikTok career. No, I'm just kidding. How is that for a transition? Has zero to do with anything.
Well, I mean, I really do think that teaching a classroom is a lot about like insisting on being captivating. Like, I'm going to hold y'all's attention. So
tune in and only watch me.
I mean, I was the actress of my classroom for sure.
So this was all in the making.
Yeah.
Allison and we've had personal talks about this as friends, about how now we're coming into what our dreams always were of what we always wanted to do with our lives.
Yeah. You know, I feel like for me, a lot of becoming older and wiser has been releasing this idea of perfection. So I love the question of what would you do if you didn't have to do it perfectly? And so there's isn't that a great question? Like, I mean,
well, apparently the show's joining Allison now because she doesn't have enough. She's going to take over my show. That's great. I'm going to sit with JW. Well, I feel like I should answer. No, I'm kidding.
I know.
No, go ahead.
But I think you know, because what if we didn't care about outcome? What if we did something just for the thrill of it? And so there's something about acting that has been that way for me, because a part of perfectionism for me is dealing with the question of that inside voice that's so mean, right? That says you're going to do it wrong. Mm-hmm. But getting rid of perfection for me is about shrugging my shoulders at that sentence and making peace with it and going, yeah, I am. I'm going to do it wrong.
And I'm going to survive.
I've never done this before. Part? Exactly.
Yeah.
And so acting for me has just been, I mean, all caps freedom, because I can say, yeah, I'm probably going to do it wrong. And any other art that I've dabbled in, whether it's writing or speaking or whatever, it's like I've always had one eye on the audience, where it's like, okay, well, I'm going to do it wrong. What are they going to think about that? And I was literally in acting classes with literal children. Okay. I have stacks of folded laundry that are older than these kids I'm in class with. And I'm watching them get up there and act and do their thing. And they don't care what I think.
Oh, yeah.
They're kids.
9. Yeah. What do they care?
And so that I get up there with my adult life of hard knocks, been banged around by the world. And I get up there and I do what they do, where I'm like, I'm not going to care what anybody thinks.
I love that.
And so like literally becoming like a child and learning something just for the thrill of it has just been a wild ride. And I love it.
You have awakened. Like, we don't want to say certain words on this show, not cuss words. Those we want. And I'm kidding. We don't want to say those either.
I speak French.
It's not, it's not that late. And it is airing on a Catholic network, so we got to keep the 3 people that are listening. So, but here's the thing: we don't want to talk about what happened in March 2020 because they'll shut that down, or they'll like cancel us because you're not allowed to say certain words, or they'll put up like I don't know, things to the government.
Okay.
But what happened in March 2020? You actually married a cutie of a little like doctor who is an infectious disease doctor who really knows what was going on in March 2020 and now. So you know what I'm talking about. Before that happened, before the lockdown, before the pause, before those other words we want to say, you were not doing acting.
Right.
You were speaking, you were writing.
Right.
I was chasing you. You were doing a podcast. You were telling me to have a podcast.
Yes, for sure.
We were rekindling our friendship.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, we're way better friends now than we ever were when we were younger.
In high school. Sure.
By tremendous leaps and bounds. So this came upon you how? Did it start with TikTok? I feel like it's the chicken or the egg.
I know.
Did you just wake up and you did TikTok, or you woke up and you had an agent? Like, I need a timeline.
Okay.
And for the people watching, the people listening, take us, Allison, through the lockdown.
Right.
March 2020.
So it's interesting because 2 things were happening simultaneously, but very separately. So my kid has always asked, ever since he could ask questions, what do you have to do to be in a commercial? And I have always answered honestly that I don't know. Except when that happened in 2020, something made all of our worlds a lot smaller, but there was something in that smallness that made me a better listener. And so instead of saying, I don't know, I said, you know what, I'll find out. And so I did, I found out. And so we went to this audition that I thought was for a commercial. Turns out it's to be a part of a team that's going to go to LA and try to get an agent. But, and so we just started taking these classes together. Meanwhile, in order to stay friendly with one another in very close proximity while stuck in the house.
We were in the pause. We were in the great pause.
The great pause.
That's what I call it.
Of 2020. It's good.
2020.
It's a good name.
Thank you.
We were like, let's make some videos together to try to stay friendly with one another.
Okay.
Like, let's entertain ourselves. Because here's the thing, there's bored, but then there's like, I should watch Tiger King bored. And let me tell you that after watching Tiger King, making TikToks with your kids sounds perfectly reasonable.
You're like, that is a natural, I'm a good parent.
Yeah. You're like, oh, but I don't dance, or like,
gosh.
Oh, I hear it's like really taboo. And that's true. Like the TikTok dances are actually really hard. I don't know why I thought I could be on the dance team in high school. And there is a lot of shredding of taboos that I would not want my kids to have TikTok without me. So you know what? Let's do this thing together. And so we create these TikToks through a family lens, and it's a great way to be creative. And the truth of the matter is, Liv, is that during this on hold time, I needed this new outlet of entertainment where people gathered together and they laughed. I loved watching the way these people were coping, because let's be honest, Facebook is about your slant, right? It's sharing your articles. Yep. It's your opinions. Twitter is your hot take. Instagram is your beauty. TikTok is your humor.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, I needed this.
Can we put that on a t-shirt?
Yeah, right.
It's like, are they listening? Are they listening? All the social media guys. Yes. JW, can you get on that? Can you send that to, I got you. Elon Musk. I don't know. Does he? I have no names. I know no one. Okay. That was very sad. Wow. I love that. So what was the first date of your first TikTok?
I don't even know. It was in March.
It was in March. Mm-hmm. And predominantly, you do this with your son, Silas.
Yes, he's the 12. One. Yes, and he just likes it the most and has the most patience for it.
Yeah, and y'all are hilarious. So it's a mother-son duo. Yeah. And when you first came on the scene, how many followers did you have?
I truly do not even know.
Okay, I think I'm one. I think you're the only person I'm following. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not on. I have it, but I haven't done TikTok at all. Which is
we're now
I've
at
done 0.
405,000.
405,000. So over 400,000 followers you now have. Yes. So we're talking like a year later. Yes. You have 400,000. But let's talk about the one follower that I care the most about. And it's because of her deep religion. No, it has nothing to do with religion at all. This woman looks good in a leotard. Let's just be really. This one also. This one's working on it. When I'm 80. Listen, then we'll change the name of the show to It's Really Late with Liv Harrison, because I'll wear a leotard every night. Glitter. But that's why it's not that late. I'm not going to wear that. Okay, you know who I'm talking about. And I have 2 questions. Yeah. 1, how did this person find your TikTok? And 2, are they still a follower? The people are dying to know. Okay, yes. That's why they're here.
Okay, so J-Lo follows us.
As in Jennifer Lopez?
As in From the Block.
As in bringing back Bennifer?
Yes. And these hips don't. Oh no,
that's Shakira.
Okay, wrong. Sorry, Jenny.
Come on, where's some Jenny?
Her friends call her Jenny.
What else, Jen?
But yes, J-Lo started following us. Yep. Honestly,
at the beginning,
it was early. So it was our first really viral video. It was our first video that went viral.
Oh, okay. So what constitutes a viral video?
I don't even know.
More than your mother?
A bunch where you can't keep up with the notifications. You're like, what's happening?
Wow. What was the video?
It was
quick.
My kid and I were making fun of homeschooling.
Oh, okay.
It was a voiceover. Like it wasn't original content. It was a voiceover.
TikTok does a lot of there's original audio and you lip sync to the audio. It was one of those. It
was one of those.
Okay.
It took us 2 seconds.
You went viral.
We went viral.
And J-Lo.
And you don't know who sees your videos. It tells you a number of who sees your videos. But my kid's kind of looking through our feed and he was like, Mom, what does a blue check mark mean?
Stop.
And I'm like, oh, let me see. And he was like, is this the lady from the Super Bowl? And I'm like, yeah.
From the Super Bowl. I love that that's how he knows J-Lo.
Yeah. So I'm like, her thumb slipped. We all know this, okay? Except 3 days later, she does the same video. Yes.
No.
Yes. with A-Rod and her kids. She does the same video.
So we just heard right here why A-Rod and her did not work out, and why Ben Affleck will be doing videos with J-Lo after.
Yes, right.
That's what I heard out of this thing.
Maybe she can make him a follower too. I mean, watch all these ripple effects.
Wait a second. So, but is she still a follower?
She is.
How many did she follow?
At the time, she was following like 38. Maybe now it's more. I to be honest, I don't.
We don't check the blue check every day. This is why Jesus won't let me have a TikTok. Because that would be JW's job. I'd be like, listen, you need to just quit everything else and check the blue check.
Yeah, you do. You have to have a little bit of space and distance from it. Like there are some people that make this their job and they post 6 videos a day, and we post a video every 6 days. Like,
oh, okay.
Like we are just, I mean.
Are you still loving it?
We have lives. Yes, it's a blast.
It's a blast.
It's a blast. I love acting in particular,
and
which
that's
is
segued into this acting
a little bit. I mean, like I said, they were happening, but acting to me is about being a good listener, and being a good listener is about being 100% present. And it's like you can have these moments of inspiration, but if you think about it too long, you move into them on faith, right? But like if you think about it too long, if you analyze it too long, the moment will pass you by, you know? Wow. And so it's like, being a good listener allows you to be totally open and just kind of respond and react and receive instead of think something into existence, you know? And that's what I was doing before. And
you're kind of being generous as an actor.
Yeah, there is a lot of generosity.
You're having to think, where I can see what you're saying, especially with TikTok, where, I mean, not that you don't care about your audience. We care deeply, J-Lo. About you and now Ben.
Don't go.
I mean, seriously. What? I'll have nothing to live for. So I love that. Would you say that TikTok gave you permission to go into acting?
I think so.
Permission to be extraordinary, because that's kind of a little theme of this show. What gave you permission to be extraordinary in this section of your life that I know, because I've known you so long in your heart, that you've always wanted to act, and now you're doing it, and you're still a faithful Catholic woman with 5 kids, right? 5?
We're real close.
It's not next week's show. Okay, y'all, I am crushing it. NBC should be calling any moment. Okay, so what gave you permission to be extraordinary?
I
as
think
a woman?
I think it's just that. I think that it's the acceptance of I am going to do it wrong, and that's okay.
Okay.
And I've even been doing it wrong in front of 400,000 people, and it's still okay.
J-Lo's still there.
That will be my measure for success for the rest of my life. Jenny, are you there? We're still good.
Did you let her know you're going to LA? I mean, she might want to hang out. So let's talk about that, shall we? You get into this class, which I think is hilarious because it is not for adults.
No.
It's for children.
Yeah.
But they loved you, which is shocking. And
so sweet, so
I mean,
kind.
come on. And
I've been weaseling my way in to things like
I'm sure I'm going to call them up and be like, so I know someone else who can do classes if you need me. And you start doing these classes. And I mean, you came alive during the great pause. During TikTok, but really, I got to be honest. It's watching you as a mom and as a woman and as your friend evolve into not only someone that you always knew you were, but that who you are.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's one thing to want that, and then it's one thing to actually be incredible at it. So I want to hear quickly. So many questions. I'm gonna pace myself. You're about to go to LA. This is going to air after you go to LA. You have an agent here in Texas. You're about to go to LA to audition, to spend 10 days there, doing your thing. You've been training all year. You now know you can. You also have the permission that if it doesn't happen, doesn't happen.
Right.
It's not like your family. You're not 20 living in your car.
Right.
And your splash, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, somebody forgot. It was a splash. J-Lo isn't actually calling you to be a backup dancer. I mean, there's nothing like really, you know what I mean? Like you're getting to go and do this because you want to go and do this. And you're doing it with your son.
Right.
Sum up for me, because isn't this what they do on E! News and stuff? They're like, so in one sentence, what was it like winning the Super Bowl? Yeah. What was it like being J-Lo on the stage? What is this like that you're going to LA to audition? This is the pre-show. Tell me, where are you at?
There is a lot of power in not really caring about an outcome. And I don't like to use the word not caring because I do care.
Peace?
But I don't need.
Peace about the outcome?
Yeah. I don't need anything. And so if we go and something fantastic happens, what a celebration. If we go and nothing happens, what a journey. So I regret nothing. I mean, so I feel a lot of power heading in there, and in that way, it can just be fun.
You have changed so much. Like seriously, doing your podcast. Can I
of course
peek behind the curtain,
sure,
if you will.
Yeah.
Allison would always have everything written. You'd have everything written, everything. My response is even like she was prepared. And when I have a women's conference called Genius, we'll see if that ever comes back. The pause knocked that wind out of those sails, but you would have it written. You have gotten comfortable in your skin. Do you feel that way? Like, do you feel like you have accepted, you and your voice?
I think that what happens is that we've grown up writing, right?
Yeah.
And then you're measured in how you write.
Right.
So we grew up with that experience. So there's, what if I do it wrong?
Yeah.
You might actually do it wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, and even speaking, we grow up like speaking to one another. People obviously do it well or poorly. I mean, and so what if you do it wrong? With acting, because I did not care about doing it wrong, I've been able to generalize that. Like, I don't care about doing it wrong. It's okay. It's okay to mess up.
You really are free.
There's something really endearing about even when you do mess up. It's okay.
I love it. And you can always do another take.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Except for this.
That one stays in the drafts, man.
I love it. And I want to come back in this next segment. We're going to play a little bit of a game, because here's the thing. The network that has started this show, they're in Connecticut and Long Island. And we're creating this show in Texas, in Houston, which we've mentioned a few times. Now, people can watch it anywhere they want, because I don't know if you know, that's how the internet works. And they can listen on a podcast app, because, again, it's 2021. So it doesn't matter that we have a network that's, backing this
You'd
somewhere else.
You'd be surprised how much I need explained to me.
Well, I'm just trying to explain it to you. But I thought we could come back and tell them a little bit about Texas.
Let's do it.
Since that's where we are. And I'd like to hear maybe you brag a little bit on Silas. Maybe we just kind of end in this little mother-son little amazing situation, if you will, with what that is like, and then we'll play a game, we'll do something fun, because this is a late night show. We're getting there. This is our first one. I can't wait for a year from now. Listen, if this is what it still looks like a year from now, I will hang up my hat. Okay? But it better be, I want a band. I want a live audience.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? I want you part of it.
Yes.
All right, you guys, you are watching and listening to It Is Not That Late with Liv Harrison. We'll see you soon.